Missed field goals, bad throws by Ben DiNucci. It doesn't matter. Dallas Cowboys football is back, baby. I look like a mess. It is 11 p.m. Eastern time. We're going live on the postgame show with Cowboys and Cold Ones. And you know what? We are all winners because no one got hurt. Football is back. And football's back, baby. And plus Micah Parsons, he looked good. We're going to talk about that and more. This is what we're going to do every regular season. We're going to go live no matter the late game, early game, doesn't matter. I'm not going to do this again for the preseason. Man, I probably should look better. Hold on. Let's at least try this. All right, at least I look like more presentable, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, and we're going to do this after every regular season. We're going to come live to you, talk about the Cowboys game. But that was big. We're going to give away star of the game. We're going to take a shot for the win. Some Wild Turkey 101 bourbon whiskey. Did we win? Score-wise, no. I don't give a shit. But we won because Cowboys football is back and because no injuries took place. So, cheers. Hope I can take down like 17 more bottles throughout the season. The red casual drink is just wine. It's a Thursday night. I have work tomorrow, people. Not going to go heavy on the beer like normal. Woo! But I have notes. Look at my phone. I sat there through that entire ball game and just took a bunch of notes. And I'm just going to read them off to you guys as we go along. And it's a lot. I get it. But that was the shot for a win. Make sure you give me a follow on Twitter, Corey Clark Radio. I'd appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel. Shout out to Shane Carter. He says, give Osa and Wahana their flowers, damn it. Hey, they showed up. They showed up, but so did many other people. Okay. We're going to go through all those notes here in just a little while of the whole entire game. We'll break it down and then some. But I do want to go over a little bit of the winners and the losers of this. But first, we have to go through the same segments we're going to go through every post game. All right. It's going to be the same thing after every regular season game. If they win, you take a shot. No more of those gimmies. You actually have to score more points from here on out. Star of the game. Okay. Play of the game. And oof, that makes me want to drink more. So let's go real quick and let's just jump into the star of the game. I will get into more details on why later on, but the star of the game in my mind, just looking at it, it could have gone either way. This guy played 2 series. He was big hype coming into the guys that were actually going to play in this game. We know Dak Prescott didn't play. We know CeeDee Lamb, Randy Gregory's bucket hat season and no pads on the sidelines. Dak was back in Oxnard. We talked to him, or Fox talked to him, not me. Talked to him during the halftime break. But the winner for me was Micah Parsons. Micah showed his speed. Showed it. His first ever NFL series. He gets a fumble recovery. He stopped someone on the edge using that speed on the outside. Okay, it was impressive. Not much he could do. He filled the hole in the gap, stopping a Najee Harris run. The plays he could have made, he made. He showed how fast he was and everything along those lines. So your star of the game is Micah Parsons. Your play of the game. Usually this will actually be a play. Yeah, as David Hellman just tweeted out too. So he says, oh, also, as far as I'm aware, we don't see any Cowboys sustain any significant injuries. Always the biggest win of a preseason game, which is why I took a shot because we won. Anyway, your play of the game, normally it's going to be a play that takes place and things along those lines. But this happened pregame on Fox's set with our owner and GM, Jerry Jones. And let's see if I can get a picture of it. Jimmy and Jerry, type it on Twitter. I'm sure it'll come up. Here we go. Share the screen. If you guys didn't see it pregame, just a little bit, they hugged at one point in time as well. So you guys see this? Jimmy Johnson to Jerry Jones. We made sports history, blah, blah. That wasn't the point. Why is Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson, why is this the play of the whole entire night? because Jerry finally said live to on air, he made the announcement. Jerry didn't really want to take this kind of situation away from Jimmy. He wanted him to enjoy his week. It was mentioned a couple weeks in the press conference as we entered training camp in Oxnard that he wasn't going to take a light away from his Hall of Fame speech, but he kind of got pressured by the guys in the gold jackets around him, like Troy Aikman, Michael Strahan, Terry Bradshaw. Asked him, hey, are you going to put Jimmy in the ring of Cowboys Ring of Honor? And Jerry eventually said, yes, he's going in the Ring of Honor. We don't know when, but your play of the game, play of the night, doesn't matter, is going to Jerry Jones, to Jimmy Johnson. And gosh darn it, the curse has been lifted. Super Bowls confirmed. Not 1, not 2, but 5 coming again. Confirmed because the curse has been broken because Jerry and Jimmy made up. Jerry told Jimmy he's going to the Cowboys Ring of Honor. They hugged pregame. Jerry said he'd do anything to win a Super Bowl again. And gosh darn it, he did. He made up with Jimmy Johnson. I don't know what their beef was. I don't care what their beef was. I'm just glad they were able to figure it out. So that's your play of the game. Another segment we'll do is, oof, that makes me want to drink. And I'm not going to take another shot of this. These are for wins and wins only from here on out, all right? I will drink. It's usually beer, but wine. What made me want to drink was watching, as much as we love the meme, okay? Like Nucci Man or Ben DiNucci. But he looked awful. I get his offensive line at that time was non-existent. The playmakers were non-existent. But DiNucci had a prime opportunity to, hey, what's up, man? Appreciate you tuning in. He had a prime opportunity to come in and kind of show himself out a little bit, make some plays. I saw somebody tweet that in training camp, he was throwing, it's never going to be up here like normal quarterbacks, but he was still throwing from this side of an angle, and he dropped it down even more for the games. I don't know if that was him being nervous, going way more sidearm, pitching. I don't know if he was showing the way I pitched in high school because that's how I did it. But Ben DiNucci is that oof. That makes me want to drink award because when watching him throw downfield was disgusting. So Ben DiNucci, you're making me drink this drink tonight. And eventually, just in a whole context behind it, these kind of things that oof, you make that makes me want to drink more. That award, it will kind of go someone down the line of, hey, did a ref blow a game? Did a defensive player, Jalen Smith, for example, did he make a bad play to cost us the game? Usually they're game-costing plays or plays that make you go, what the f were you doing, dude? So, yeah, there's that. All right. Winners, losers. Like I said, I have all these notes. I showed you guys. If you're just joining us, I sat there and I did all this on my phone. Phone's at 13%, so let's pray we make it through it. I'm going to give the winners, the losers, and I'll go through the list. Those names will come up, and we'll go into more detail. I don't want to repeat myself. So the winners for this contest with the Cowboys winning, Micah Parsons, we mentioned that. The big winner, no significant injuries at all. Not one bit, and that was big. Kelvin Joseph. You guys are like, I didn't even know he was playing. He played the entire first half. This is the one guy I'll get into a little bit. Kelvin Joseph played the entire first half. He's a winner of this game, one of the players, because – one, you didn't hear about him much. That's a win for a cornerback. If you're not hearing the cornerback's name, it means you're probably not making bad plays. You're not out of position. You're not getting targeted. Kelvin Joseph just didn't get targeted. And he played the entire first half, so he's a win. That's a win in my book for a cornerback. Rico Dowdle, dude, we'll talk more about him. That's a winner. Malik Turner showed up, and Deshaun Wright showed up, making some plays, showing off that length. Dude, he's perfect for that Dan Quinn scheme. We talked about it all off season, what he provides. I got like 3 different drinks going on here. Rico is just perfect for this kind of offense. If you're listening, leave a comment on the YouTube section. Be sure to subscribe. He said that is the biggest and best W. I'm assuming he's talking about the injuries, and that is the biggest. That's the best thing. And the next one would have been Jerry saying Jimmy's going to the Cowboys Ring of Honor. And there you go. Shane Carter, Kelvin Joseph was locked down. Shout out to Shane. He's a guest on the show. Go find it from a few weeks ago, probably a month ago. He did a hell of a job. But yeah, so when you don't hear about a cornerback relatively means, sure, they're not making any plays, but they're also not getting the opportunity to make plays because whether it was Mason Rudolph or Haskins in that first half, they were never throwing to Kelvin Joseph's side. They were always going to whether it was Kennedy or right side or Anthony Brown. I don't know if he played at all, but it didn't matter. They just never went to Kelvin Joseph's side in that situation. All right, we're just going to run through these notes a little bit. I took a lot throughout the game, just things that popped out to me. Randy Gregory was in a bucket hat, no pads. He didn't play. I wrote that down for one reason only. Isn't it damn sweet? It's like a sweet you eat past midnight when you're not supposed to, but you know it's damn good. Isn't it damn good to see Randy Gregory is finally earned the respect and the treatment of the first preseason game, even though he's fully healthy, during bucket hat sideline season? He's risen in the defensive staff, the head coach, McCarthy, the front office. They notice how big Randy Gregory is going to be for this defense. You don't have Alden Smith. You don't have right now the Demons. He's doing a hell of a job. Randy is a role model to so many. You don't have someone taking his snaps. DeMarcus Lawrence, Randy Gregory, the most solidified we've been with our pass rushing duo in a long time. I want a Dwight Freeney, Robert Mathis kind of duo. That's what I want out of those two. They're both good against the run. They both can rush the passer, and they're both disrespectful or disrespected. But first play of the game, on defense, Cowboys started out on defense, Steelers on offense, blah, blah, blah. The first play of the game, Jalen Smith tried to make the tackle with his shoulder going to the ground. And if you didn't see this coming, I'm sorry, but everybody did probably. Jalen just heat check, shoulder check, Kelvin Joseph. The only time we heard his name was the first play of the game because Jalen Smith missed who he was trying to tackle and just shoulder checked the shit out of Kelvin Joseph right in his chest. Welcome to the NFL, Rook. Jalen, don't do that crap. Micah Parsons just missed a tackle for loss on a jet sweep, almost made a big play to start his career. But either the next play or a couple plays later, Parsons made himself known. He got that fumble recovery in the first possession. Parsons was a winner for tonight and the star of the game. He played 2 series and 2 series only. And in that time, it's hard to keep your eyes off him. He was beating guys to the edge. He was chasing guys downfield for being on the opposite side of the linebacker line. Like if they would run out to the left side, if Micah started in the middle or more towards the right, he still ended up beating that guy out there 12 yards down the field. And it wasn't the cornerback or the safety. It was Micah Parsons. His athleticism, his speed is going to play real well. I don't know how ready he is to be a Mike linebacker, but an outside linebacker, he's damn ready for that. Set the edge, rush the passer. That is Micah Parsons' game, at least year 1, or the first few weeks of the Dallas Cowboys. Who knows? He might get better by week 5, and he might take over that spot. Let's see. First throw of the Cowboys preseason and the season was Garrett Gilbert to Dalton Schultz for a 15-yard gain. It's all the action Schultz saw. He caught a pass, didn't need him anymore. Tyron Smith didn't play in this game. Zach Martin didn't play in this game. The only starters that did play was Connor Williams at left guard in the first series, Tyler Biadasz in the center spot with Leo Collins playing after not playing at all last year. He played in the first series at right tackle, and he looked good. He moved well. Didn't get beat. Kept his guys outside, did his job in the containment at the right tackle position. That's what you want to see. So he did well. We talked about Micah, another guy I could have mentioned as a winner, but I didn't really notice it except for 1 or 2 plays, which you don't get that many opportunities in a preseason, especially if you're a starter. This is the guy that has a lot to prove next. Jalen Smith, obviously, but Leighton Vander Esch, he showed speed. He beat guys to the edge as well. He attacked the gap. Having defensive tackles that can open up lanes is going to help the vision of these linebackers. And that was a big complaint we had last year. We know that. But I thought LV moved around very, very well. Let's see. CeeDee Lamb, he had bucket hat season. I see he's earned that repertoire just in his second year after tearing it up in training camp to this date. Zeke didn't play. We didn't need to see Zeke. Let's see. Micah Parsons chased down Johnson on a wide receiver screen. Yeah, that's what the play I was talking about where running out to the edge, he beat the cornerback down the field. Parsons came from the opposite side of the field and was able to chase him down. I just put in my notes, he is in all caps, fast. And it shows on the field. And then I tweeted out, and it got kind of a little bit of love. You can follow me on Twitter right there at Corey Clark Radio. Yeah. In quotes, this is what I said. Yeah, you can't take Mike off the field come regular season. Just can't. Because I was under the impression that the idea was kind of going to be, well, this situation, it's LV, Jalen, and a nickel maybe sometimes. And other times it might be Neil, Micah, or Micah LV, or Micah Jalen. No. Just like Trayvon Diggs, 100% of the snaps. Can't take Micah Parsons off the field either. That's my big thing. Let's see. What else do I have to go through? Connor Williams played center the second series. They were working on that in training camp, and it was bad. He had a few awful snaps, had a couple bad snaps, same as training camp. He's been struggling there, but they're trying to get him to work in there for an emergency in case someone like Tyler Biadasz goes down. So I didn't really notice Tyler Biadasz, by the way. It wasn't a bad thing. He showed up a little bit. So let's see. Wilson had 2 catches the second drive. Cedric Wilson and Noah Brown, they heard us talking shit. Absolute shit in the offseason, guys. Because we were like, well, maybe Simi Fehoko or Malik Turner could take one of these guys' spots. What do we know? Oh, here we go. Here's some highlights. See, and watch this play real quick. This is the Micah Parsons fumble recovery. Let me share it with you guys. How about them Cowboys, guys? Man, that was fun. Football back. A lot of bad kicks from both teams. It's kind of embarrassing, but it happens. So, boo, 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 boo. Let's see. I have a lot of tabs open. All right, here we go. Check this out. Oh, wants to load, right? Micah Parsons with the fumble recovery. Jalen back there, obviously. Everybody pointing that way. Let's see who's out there. There's Terrell Basham, Kears, who's been playing pretty well. Parsons, shove at the block. Nothing really happened. It was just a bad snap. Probably not that impressive. Hey, bucket hat season. Should we just have a co-host and Randy Gregory the rest of the show? Randy Gregory's our co-host. Only if I can get him to be pointing at me. See, kind of the opposite way. I'm bigger than you, though, Randy. No, I'm not. Not at all. Not one bit. Yeah, but anyway, what else was going on in this one? So this is the post-game show. It'll get a lot more in depth. We're going to have a lot more to bitch about or talk about and get excited about come regular season. But this is kind of just how this is going to go. Whether it's a Sunday night football game, a Thursday night football game like this, Monday night football, 4:25 p.m. Eastern time slot on Fox, those random ass 1 p.m. games. Thanksgiving, I might get yelled at, but we'll see what I can do for my phone. It probably won't be the backdrop or anything special. I want this to grow, guys. I do, because I enjoy talking Dallas Cowboys. I work in sports radio, but I can't talk Cowboys where I live. I'm big on Twitter. If you haven't noticed, if you follow me already, I'm a Yankee fan, a Cowboys fan. I tweet about those a lot. More Yankees in-game, Cowboys all season long. Once this rolls around throughout the season, we're going to be going live once a week, throughout the week, getting guests on. We've already had guests like Kyle Yeomans, Jay Tuck, Shane Carter. We've had a few. We got more lined up down the road. Eventually some players. Maybe this guy will want to join the show one day. I know one of my buddies from college is actually best friends with him, so it's possible that could work out. But let's move on. What else? I won't have a list like this of things like that. It's just the first game of the preseason. I'm excited. We're not going live these other preseason games. It's going to be this one time to see how it works out. I've tweeted it out. If you are one of the people watching, I would appreciate if you take the time to go retweet that when you watch it. Share this link, subscribe below. All it helps. Like, I'm just starting out, nothing big. All right, let's see. Noah Brown had a nice third down body catch. Big third down catch. Tight end Sean McCann has been making plays all camp. He broke a tackle and got the first down. Second Cowboys field goal got blocked. By the way, Greg Zuerlein was not the kicker in this ball game at all. Zuerlein didn't even travel with the team. It was Hunter, and he is not your field goal kicker. I don't know what the excuse for Pittsburgh's guy was, but regardless, it was awful. Nashawn Wright gets beat down deep to Claypool, but it was a push off and it wasn't called. This was the actual regular season, and that actually happened and it mattered. You'd see me slamming the table. We'd be ranting. I'd probably get up, take my shirt off. No, I'm not taking my shirt off. You don't want to see that. But I'm getting mad and we're just talking about it in more depth. But we're just going down the list of things that I caught my eye. Cowboys cornerback Maurice Canty with a nice run stop. He's actually been making plays throughout training camp. He's a name you need to keep an eye on, whether it's A, trade bait, or B, they find a way to keep him on the roster too, which I don't know how they're going to do that. Good friend at Katie Drummond NFL has kind of laid it out where they could trade Anthony Brown or release Anthony Brown, one of the two, because they have Anthony Brown, Jordan Lewis, Kelvin Joseph, Nashawn Wright, Maurice Canty, and not even count Trayvon Diggs yet. So the list goes on. But don't forget about Canty because he was a Cowboy that signed in the offseason a year ago, elected to sit out the entire 2020 regular season due to COVID concerns. So he's back with the team this year. He's made plays in training camp. He made a nice run play today. But yeah, so what else we got? Steelers missed field goal, just like everybody was awful today in special teams. Pat McAfee's going for the brand, ? First possession for Jabril Cox. I'm a big Jabril Cox high. If you're going to learn that quick. As soon as he got in the game, I retweeted it. I'm pretty sure his sister retweeted my tweet, which is pretty cool. Jabril Cox, and he made a nice play right away. And then Garrett Gilbert, he didn't do bad. We'll talk about that a little bit towards the end. More of the quarterbacks. I do want to talk about that. Probably more of a weekly episode thing. But Garrett Gilbert didn't look awful. He looked awful when it came down to when he was down in the red zone. He took 2 big sacks, and don't let anybody tell you that sacks are not a quarterback stat, because they fucking are. If you hold the ball too long on a 3-step drop and you don't get rid of it, and your left tackle is expecting 1, 2, 3, boom, and you get a sack from that side, what's going to happen? You're going to get sacked, but the sack goes against the left tackle because that's the guy who was blocking him. When instead, it's a quarterback. So that's something Garrett Gilbert had to clean up. Other than that, he did fine. Greatest preseason quarterback of all time. Then came in at the 8:20 mark in the second quarter in Cooper Rush. He didn't really do anything to impress me. Shout out to Drew Pearson and Jimmy Johnson for going into the Hall of Fame this weekend. Malik Turner made a couple big plays. He was one of the winners. He had a fumble. He had a big 4th and 15, but fumbled right away. Nashawn Wright set the edge on a run. Quinn Bohanna, 330 pounds, making a hustle tackle 15 yards down the field. That's what you want to see from your fat man DT. I did notice that Dan Quinn called an all-out blitz on 3rd and 5 towards the half. It was a nice breakup by, I can't say his last name, the rookie out of South Carolina, Ekumana. Probably not even close. It was awful, I know. Kelvin Joseph played the entire second half. You didn't notice him, which is a good thing. He wasn't targeted. We talked about that. Malik Turner just kept making nice plays. Hunter missed a field goal as the first half ended. So he was 1 for 3 going into the half. He had one blocked, missed a long field goal. But then again, like David Hellman made a good point. Like they may have seen him kick 3 practice field goals this entire training camp, and they just threw him out there probably to kick more tonight than he has the entire training camp. They just haven't spent time on it because 1, he's not their field goal kicker. 2, it's Greg Zuerlein. So whenever Greg comes back, that's not going to matter. What's up, Mendoza? Appreciate you, man. But yeah. So when he comes back around, even if Greg was hurt, Hunter wouldn't be your field goal kicker. They'd go find somebody else because you can't trust him to be that guy. I saw someone tweet out, hear me out. Have the same guy that can kick off, kick field goals, punt, saves a roster spot. Sure, but that's very unlikely. Rico Dowdle We talked about him. He was making some big-time plays. He had a nice third down reception from Garrett Gilbert there in the first quarter on that drive. A little bit of route like that I call him Madden all the time. He had some tough runs. He's probably going to make this team, guys. Be prepared to have a running back room of Dowdle, Tony Pollard, and Ezekiel Elliott. And that was just the first half. Cowboys went into the first half trailing, 9-3. They had the lead 3-0. They had the lead at one point. I was happy then. They never got it back, which I don't care. It's preseason. Nobody played. Dak didn't play. Coop didn't play. Ceedee didn't play. Gallup played the first series. Didn't get a ball thrown to him. Wish they would have found a way to get him open, but whatever. My second half notes get a little smaller. Ben DiNucci started the second half, had an interception. Let's see. Quick question for my pal. Mendoza came over from J Tuck's YouTube. Hey, we can all have friends. I love J Tuck. How do you think Luke Gifford looked? Honestly, I didn't notice him that much. I saw he was out there in the second half with Jabril Cox. I'm such a big Jabril Cox fanatic that I was watching him more than anything. But Luke Gifford really did look good. I do have some notes on him. He's healthy, and Francis Bernard is not. It's a perfect chance for him to take a roster spot, even if it's on special teams. He had a big third down. Ugh. My bad. He had a big third down and one stop. Luke Gifford did. He's been doing some plays in training camp. It's nothing bad. I thought he was fine. So Mendoza, Luke Gifford did look good. About as good as you hope he can in the second half. Him and Jabril Cox both did a pretty good job. I thought the entire defense did. Jalen, I didn't notice because I'm probably a hater, which is fine. So now Nooch started the second half. He had a bad interception. He had no offensive line depth. We talked about that. He had no playmakers out there, I guess. But Ben DiNucci just throwing the ball down the field, trying to be Patrick Mahomes when he's not Patrick Mahomes. It's a real opportunity because he's fun to watch. And it's real sad. It really is. 2020, the most exciting we got post-Dak injury was probably that was a Monday night or Sunday night football game where the Cowboys played the Philadelphia Eagles and Ben DiNucci was starting, and all over that app called TikTok, the memes were coming out, and Ben DiNucci, and he just, it's nothing. Nothing yet. I hope he can figure it out. I hope McCarthy can help him. He's not ready to be the backup quarterback yet. Cooper Rush is not ready. Garrett Gilbert's their best option. He has no competition. That's kind of a problem. But that's something we'll get into. Possible trade targets or something we can get into in the midweek episode. Remember, if you do have questions, you can tweet me on Twitter at Corey Clark Radio when I'm not doing live YouTube. Whenever you do something comment-wise on the YouTube channel, I like to get to you guys. I know we have a lot more viewers when this comes out after the fact. We do have people that come in during the live show. Hopefully, once this grows, it'll become regular season. More people want to tune in. I know it's 11:30 p.m. Eastern time, 10:30 Central right now. But if you have questions throughout the week leading up to the show, feel free to go ahead and drop me either a DM. My DMs are open, and I promise to give you a shout out on the show and get to you. Yeah, Mendoza said, okay, thanks for answering in regards to Luke Gifford. He said he feels the same. He wants to see more from him. I do too. But that linebacker room is real crowded. Like Jalen, LVE, Micah, Neal, Micah Parsons, or not Micah, but Jabril Cox, that 5. And then would be Luke Gifford. I don't know how many they're going to keep. I would like Gifford to make this roster because none of those 5 linebackers I want playing special. None of the 4 of the 5 I want playing special teams except for Jabril Cox. That's where he needs to be. Luke Gifford would be there. So I'm hoping that with Bernard, it sucks that he got hurt. No, don't wish for that early on in training camp. But with Francis Bernard getting hurt, Lucas Gifford has a real chance to come out here and make this team. Let's see. Offensive line depth is a part why this game was so bad, especially in the second half. Like, it was god-awful. Deshaun Wright made another nice play in the red zone by using his length, and he went up there and dropped a ball that could have been an easily drop-in-the-bucket throw from Dobbs for a touchdown, but he knocked it away. Good defense by him. And then the very next play, it was a big tackle in the open field on a third down run to force a field goal attempt by Pittsburgh. And if you guys are just joining us, you missed it. We did take a shot at the beginning of this game, or the beginning of the show. Every time the Cowboys win on the postgame show, we're taking a shot. And the new ones are probably saying, well, Corey, they didn't freaking win tonight. Yes, they did. Nobody got hurt, and football's back. Preseason game, they can go 0-4. I could care less. So let's see what else. Yeah, Deshaun Wright looks good. We're all going to eat our words. It's just like going to be a giant crow. So he's going to come out of nowhere. He's going to make plays. He's the perfect playmaker for this defense. I can just see it now where Deshaun Wright is possibly a starting cornerback on this team come 2022 with a little bit of a role here in 2021. Trayvon Diggs outside, right on the outside, Kelvin Joseph in the slot, or however they want to do it. Deshaun Wright is great in the zone. He's great reading the quarterback's eyes to go back. He needs to get better with his hands and press coverage and man-to-man. That is the one part of his game he has got to get better at. And he will. It's his first preseason game, and here I am critiquing him. Corey, shut up. All right, let's see. Ben DiNucci makes a nice throw on third down to Parker. It's a busted coverage, though. Reggie Robinson, our pet cat from forever ago, it feels like, didn't play until the second half. He got a forced fumble, but the bounce ended up going in the Steelers' hands. And then my final in caps, Garrett Gilbert has no quarterback competition for the backup role. All right. We talked about it. That's a midweek conversation. I'm going to give you guys some names. We'll probably go live sometime this week in the evening time around 6 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Eastern. Probably get a guest on here. We'll also talk about the goods, the bads of the first preseason game. We'll talk about some backup quarterback options that we can either trade for or sign currently on the market. Let's see. Yeah, I do too. Mendoza said, I like seeing Aaron Parker make some plays. He did a good job too. Him and Malik Turner. If those guys show out, then I'll be happy to trade them for like a 6th-round pick. Because that wide receiver room is all ready to the point where it's pretty filled. If you guys have any questions about the game or anything in the future-wise, I got some viewers on here. You can go ahead and comment. I'd appreciate it. I'll answer it for you. Yeah, Mendoza, I just mentioned that. I said Wright had a hell of a play in the red zone where he was able to use his length, knock the ball away. In the very next play, he got the big tackle, open field tackle on third down on the run that forced a 4th down and a field goal attempt. So, Deshaun Wright, he's going to prove us all wrong. I had no idea who the hell he was, and I wasn't the only one. When the Cowboys drafted him at 99 before Jabril Cox. So, I don't know. I'm rooting for the kid, obviously. I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for Boss Man Fat. I want to see him. All right, quarterback. Who do we play next in preseason? I can ask for one thing. They play Arizona on the August 13th. So, obviously, not this Friday. A week from tomorrow, they go to Arizona, and they play a Friday game at 10 p.m. Eastern time. Holy cow. Well, good thing it's a Friday night. 10 p.m. Eastern time, the Cowboys go to Arizona and play. I want to see Kyler Murray, whoever's playing quarterback for them. I want them to attack Kelvin Joseph. I want to see how he reacts. So, let's see. CJ with the question of, what do you think of Hunter punting? Does he have real competition with Brian Anger? I'm not going to say no, but everything I've seen is that Brian Anger is a front runner. But then again, I want to see him punt. Like training camp, you don't see those videos. Those are the cool plays to show. So, yeah. I think Brian Anger makes this team. I thought Hunter did a good job after Chris Jones went down last year. I think there is a real competition for it. I do. Just a lot of people are kind of complaining about Hunter this game because of the field goals, but that's not his job, nor will that ever be his job. Unless there's like an emergency kicker situation, fine. But like, let's say Greg, the leg, got hurt tomorrow. They would go sign somebody or trade for somebody. It wouldn't be Hunter's job. I really like Hunter. He's young. Brian Anger's old. The signing for Brian Anger kind of came out of left field for me. But he's a proven veteran. I don't care. You make your kicks. It's not going to matter. Yeah, Mendoza said good test for the DBs next Friday. That's only if all the receivers play, but still, it's a good test for all of them. I hope we can see Trayvon Diggs play next week because he's killed it in preseason. I hope we see, hopefully by then, I don't think Dak will play. I don't need to see Dak. I don't need to see Dak at all until maybe a couple snaps towards the end of preseason. I do want to see CeeDee Lamb play just a drive. I want to see Zeke play a drive. I want to see Tyron Smith play a drive. I do want to see Dak play eventually down the line, but mostly I want to see Kelvin Joseph and how he reacts to being targeted more. Jesus. Did I talk about Connor Williams, Mendoza? Yes, I already did. That was earlier. He didn't really show out at left guard, but then also in the second series, I thought it was interesting that he went over to the center position. He's been working on that in training camp. So he went over there and played the center for that series. And the problem he had in training camp was bad snaps. The problem he had in this preseason game was bad snaps. So really, if Tyler Biondish goes down of an injury and Connor Williams is your only option, you better figure out how to snap that ball. So that's all I'm saying. All right, 20 minutes till midnight. I'll give you guys another minute. If you have any more questions, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Do me a favor, subscribe. We go live once a week. I promote it all the time. Cowboys and Cold Ones on my Twitter page at Corey Clark Radio. Cowboys and Cold Ones has its own Facebook page. You can go there. I promote when I'm going live. I'll go live after every game here on out from the regular season. Who knows? I might change my mind next Friday. I'm like, I want to go live. It's 2 a.m. Eastern time. I want to go live. We'll see. We'll go live for breaking news stuff. So if something did happen in that game where it's big breaking news, I'll go live and talk about it. But I'm not going to do this whole post-game show. Remember, post-game show, it's always one of the same things. If they win, shot. You get Star of the Game award, who I give that out to. Play of the game. And oof, that makes me want to drink a little bit more. And today's award recipient for that was Ben DiNucci throwing the damn football. I could throw it over the damn mountains over there. How about the new long snapper? Mendoza says, big shoes to fill. I mean, LP was here forever. McQuaid, if that's how you say his name, he's a proven veteran. It's fine with me. It doesn't really bother. I think he'll be fine. So if we're going to end the show, we got to the part of the show where we're asking long snapper questions. Shout out Mendoza. I appreciate you. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and get out of here. And we'll talk to you earlier on in the week. Remember, subscribe, like, follow, comment, do what you got to do. We'll talk to you next week. And until then, Cowboys win this game because football's back, baby, and no injuries happen. How about them Cowboys? Cheers.